Hello guys, my name is Kayla and I'm going to be talking to you about the long-term effects that child abuse has on the child and what they can experience as an adult and when they get older. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm going to, you can follow along. There's a PowerPoint ahead, or I have a handout that's being passed around. Okay, first, just a little background of what to maybe tell the victim, because there's so many things that people try to help with and nothing will really ever help. Saying, oh, I know what you're going through, you don't know what they're going through. Even if you have been abused, every situation is different. Also, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that you're sorry. It's not that your fault, so why are you saying you're sorry? The victim must know that the abuse did happen. It happened. There's no way avoiding it. It happened and it exists as a part of their childhood history. Some people try to ignore it, and this just causes more problems later on. Victim had little control over the situation. When someone's abused, there's a lot of guilt and things that, oh, I could have done this or I could have done this. They had no control over it. Victim cannot change the past but can affect the future. This is stated in the Understanding Childhood Abuse and Neglect book. A lot of this information from my PowerPoint is because I thought that this was important to know, you either as a victim or you dealing with someone that is a victim. Take control and fulfill your life. It's important for the victim to know that they can have control for the rest of they can have control and they can fill their life with things that make them happy instead of those memories. This quote also came out of the book. Some survivors point out that survival is not a destination, but rather that surviving the aftereffects of childhood maltreatment is an ongoing process. No matter what they do to try to help it, it's going to be ongoing, and they are going to remember this time for the rest of their lives. Okay. Adults are hesitant to disclose because one of the reasons, there's plenty of reasons, but one of the main reasons is they're afraid of not being heard. Like I said before, a lot of people don't know what they're going through. A lot of people could have doubts, or they're afraid that their support system won't support them. But like I said, parents, friends, and even therapists. There's some therapists that don't believe that their patients have been abused. Okay, being a victim has future effects on relationships. Someone who has been abused, they have trouble talking about with their partners about the situations, but they want to be honest. They want their partner to know what went on and everything that went on. The fact that they need to be accepted and loved, this is hard on them because a lot of people who are in relationships with those who have been abused don't understand, so it's really hard to get along. I remember in a video that I had watched in class one time, it was on the Oprah show, and these men were having trouble trusting their wives who had been abused. They didn't understand why they were acting the way they were. They didn't understand why they were so, didn't trust them, a bunch of different things. Feeling tainted by their abuse or fear of being rejected. Anyone who's abused thinks everyone knows and thinks that no one will ever like them. The trust is limited here. Like I said before, trust is hard when someone can't trust you back. Disbelief of accepting people who accept them, people who understand, they don't believe that it's true. Avoids intimacy. This can be a huge challenge because when looking in a relationship, a lot of people look for intimacy in that loving bond. Well, if you're dating an abused person, they might not want to do that, and you have to be accepting of that. Lack of comfort. A lot of people don't feel comfortable with themselves, with the situation that they may be getting themselves into, with it can come to any little thing, but it's important because these people have been traumatized for the rest of their life. They will always think about it. Having children is another thing. It's known to have constant fear of the child's safety, which, depending on the age of the child, this could get annoying. Also, flashbacks of memories. This is important because the mother or father could picture themselves at that age and what had happened, or with their child, picturing their child going through what they went through. Trusting childhood peers. I thought about this because in like the next bullet point it says situational, because I figured, say a teacher had raped them as a child, a pastor, a father, a grandpa, whatever, they will have time trusting that in the they will have trouble trusting them in that area. Experiencing the loss. This one I found quite interesting because I didn't think losing someone to death would have any effect on the abused victim, but it does. That loss of someone really does affect the abused person. Say it's the perpetrator or the non-protecting parent, or the parent that raped the child and then died. You never know. Children leaving home. This is hard as a mother that's been abused, or as a child that's been abused, leaving home, say for college, moving away for a new job. Just depends. Loss of job. This could trigger effects of child abuse also. And any normal changes in life could definitely have an effect on these abused children. Residual effects of child abuse and neglect. Residual meaning, I have in my notes, sorry. The effects after things have stopped. So they have trouble getting their needs met. They have trouble delay gratification. They don't like giving compliments or anything like that. How to make decisions. How to separate feelings from actions. This could cause a lot of problems. And how to take responsibility for own actions. Trust issues. This can cause trust issue. Child abuse can cause trust issues in the future by inability to trust others, inability to trust themselves, and inability to trust the environment. Maybe they're afraid to go where the abuse has happened, which is totally understandable. Maybe they don't trust themselves seeing that person again. Maybe they'll fall back to what they felt comfortable with. Trusting others, like we said about the relationships, friendships, etc. This chart is from the child abuse book again. I just wanted to break it down. Some are the same and some are different about what effects you will see in physical abuse, neglect abuse, and sexual abuse. So, for physical abuse, they have difficulty trusting others, low self-esteem, anxiety and fears, powerlessness, physical problems, substance abuse, anger, inability to play, and depression. For neglect, they will have some of the effects are difficulty trusting, anger, impaired object relations, lowered intelligence, impaired development, verbal inaccessibility, substance abuse, powerlessness, and inability to play. So by powerless, they do not feel control. They feel like they cannot do anything about what they're doing or what's happening to them. For sexual abuse, shame and guilt is one of them. Physical problems, low self-esteem, distorted view of body. They may think differently about their body. Difficulty with relationships, substance abuse, sexual problems, inability to play, and trusting issues. Now, I realize these aren't all the effects, or some might not experience any of these, or some of these. It just depends on the situation and how the person's handling it. Anger. A lot of children feel robbed of their childhood. They feel like their childhood was ruined because of this event, when really, up to that point, it was okay. Anger is toward inward results in depression and self-abusive tendencies. Inward anger can cause self-harm and abuse, which is not good. Anger also appears after needs are unmet. Someone can get angry when their needs aren't met when they want them met. They feel guilty, they feel shame, and they feel powerless. A lot of people who get abused think that, yes, it is their fault, when it's not their fault. PTSD. This is post-traumatic stress disorder. And I liked this quote because normally you don't think of abuse with this disorder. You think of disasters, accidents, and combat experiences. As this quote says, more recent research has linked short and long-term post-traumatic stress syndromes. Symptoms to child abuse. And avoidance. Avoidant behavior among victims of sexual abuse may be understood as attempts to cope. After this experience, if they're being avoidance for longer than expected, I don't know the exact date, I would offer them help, but if they need time alone to think, let them think. You pressuring them to get help will not help anything. When they're ready to get help, they'll be ready, if they even disclose. And here are my references. I'm going to take a few minutes to share my thoughts on this topic and why I think it's important for you to learn. I think it's important for you to learn because say you're a mom that has a child that's been abused, or say you've been abused and you are having these effects as an adult. I think it's important for you to get help because they can assess you and they can offer you things that may help. Alright, thanks for having me out.